Hey everybody, Black Ninja 797 here, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are once again going to be doing another Left 4 Dead 2 ranking video. And in this Left 4 Dead 2 ranking video, we are going to be doing, as you guys requested, which is going to be ranking all the uncommon infected in Left 4 Dead. If you do not know what a uncommon infected is a in-between stage between the common and the special. So the uncommon would, for example, be like the clowns that you see on Dark Carnival, or even the CETA agents that you see on Dead Center. Those weird ones that are in between that have certain quirks about them that can either make them strong or make them weak. And I'm going to be ranking them here for all of you here today. If you guys end up enjoying this video, as always, I tremendously appreciate if you guys could just smash that thumbs up button, comment, subscribe, all that beautiful stuff, and feel free in the comments section down below to let me know what topic you would like me to make another Left 4 Dead ranking video on next, because I'm always looking at the comments and I always appreciate them. But anyways, guys, let's move on to the ranking. Alright, so coming in at the least favorite spot, you guys were probably expecting this because everybody hates these guys. This is going to be the Riot Guard zombies that are on the Parish, and also on Coldstream, depending if you have the DLC. These guys are extremely annoying, and no one likes them. For those of you guys that do not know how they work, let me explain. So, these guys are completely covered in body armor. They have no way to get killed unless you end up shooting them in the back. You can melee them in the back, and you can shoot them in the back. But as far as I'm aware, they are immune to every single other part. You cannot shoot them in the head, you cannot shoot them in the front, legs, kneecaps, anything. You can't even shoot them in the dick. They are completely invulnerable to everything that you throw at them. And unfortunately, the problem with this is that this makes it so that way if you're ever surrounded by a horde of these guys, you are literally going to be completely screwed. Because, like, let's say, for example, you're on only a few HP, you're moving really, really slow, and you're surrounded by a horde of these guys, you might as well just shoot yourself in the foot. These guys are not fun to deal with. They're very annoying. And unfortunately, on top of that, they are immune to chainsaws, explosives, flames on the front side, and can drop a nightstick. Now, the thing is that you would think that this guy might give you some good rewards. Nope, he just drops the crummy nightstick. And he's basically immune to every single thing you can throw at him. You can use a bile bomb and a pipe bomb, but there's no guarantee that that will really kill him. Essentially, the only thing you can kill him with is your gun, or your melee weapon, because he's immune to all explosives and flames that are pretty much everything else other than bullets. So, yeah, this guy's no fun. He's too hard to kill for what he is, and he basically is almost like a mini special infected just for how complicated he is. Like, you have no idea, it's ridiculous. Alright, now we're going to be moving on to the next spot. So for the next spot, this is going to end up being the Mudmen. Now, the Mudmen are only available on a select few maps. These guys are predominantly known, though, for Swamp Fever. And when it comes to the Mudmen, the reason why I personally don't like them, and I'm also ranking them really low, is because they distort your vision. So, for those of you guys that do not know how the Mudmen work, basically, even though they look like just a normal zombie, they crawl on all fours, which makes it so that way they're harder to shoot because they're smaller. And also on top of that is when they hit you, they literally will fling mud in your face, which means that if you get smacked by them, you essentially go blind. Not as bad as the Boomer does, but it is enough where if you have, once again, a horde of these guys, which can happen, they will basically make you go blind, and therefore you can't defend yourself. So, Mudmen, unfortunately, get annoying after a while, especially if you're playing on the higher difficulties, and even though they have 50 HP, the fact that they're on all fours, and they can run really fast, and sometimes they just blend in naturally with the water on the maps that they're always on, it makes these guys incredibly frustrating. So, the Mudmen aren't as bad as the Riot guys, but they're pretty dang close. I would say the Riot guys are only worse because of how hard it is to kill them. The Mudmen you can at least kill, but the problem is, though, is that they're mostly based off of human error. The Riot Shield guys, or the Guard guys, you can just shoot at them, and you're going to have to just hope that they turn around enough for you. The Mudmen are all about accuracy, so if you are accurate enough, you can kill them. That's why I rank them a little bit better, but not by much. They're still pretty annoying to deal with. Alright, now this is going to be a interesting spot because for me personally, I didn't even know that this was considered a uncommon infected because I never noticed it. And you might agree with me. Like, so let me talk about this, because this one is very interesting. So this is actually an infected called the Worker Infected, which is the zombies that are in the construction gear, and these are predominantly found on hard rain. These guys have the ability to ignore the pipe bomb because their armor, like basically like their hat and their earmuffs, protect them from the sound, so therefore they're not affected, but they only have 50 HP and then don't drop anything. So these guys are kind of like almost like normal infected minus the pipe bomb thing, because literally other than the pipe bomb thing where they can't hear the pipe bomb because their headsets or their headphones, they are only 50 HP and they have no other special abilities. They don't even drop anything. So the reason why I rank the guy higher up rather than the other two is just because he's more easier to kill and less frustrating despite the lack of no reward really. The other guys will give you usually a decent reward, either that or they'll just be in general easy to kill. But the thing is though is that the Worker Infected, I just rank him up higher because I don't like dealing with Mudmen or the guy in the armor. The guy in the armor and the Mudman are just like extremely annoying. They're just not worth your time to kill. Alright, now coming into the next spot, this is going to end up being the Dark Carnival Clowns. So for the clowns, they are pretty overall fair. They're not honestly that bad. I personally don't mind them. I mean, honestly, they're not even that bad of an infected. All they do is just alert these zombies to you. Kind of similar to the Boomer, but not directly like the Boomer. The Boomer kind of just has one giant, like, barf, and then he'll just, like, attract a whole bunch of zombies. But the clown is always doing so, especially if you're, like, squeaking his nose. But the good news is, though, is that these guys are a lot easier to kill than a lot of the other infected. And plus also, in general, they're just kind of more fun to deal with. I mean, other than the fact that they lure the infected to you, they're just basically the same thing. They have 50 HP, they're, you know, normal infected. Other than that, literally they only just have one ability, and, like, that's kind of it. And they don't drop anything, unfortunately, but in general, they're more fun to kill, and you really only have to deal with them on Dark Carnival. And Dark Carnival is honestly a good enough map that dealing with these guys isn't that much of a frustration to begin with. Alright, now coming in at the next spot, this is the CETA agents. So the CETA agents are the guys that end up having the hazmat suits that you most likely know from Dead Center. And these guys are a little bit more annoying. They're a lot more harder to kill than the last couple that we just did. For example, the CETA agents are immune to the flames, and they're also immune to any like flame retardant stuff. So you won't be able to kill him with like a Molotov, and when you're playing and you're running through the fire, he'll just run right through it. He has 50 HP, and he can drop bile bombs when you kill him. Luckily, this one does give you a reward. So if you do kill him, he will drop you a piece of equipment. And it's actually a pretty useful piece of equipment because, you know, I can see myself always needing a bile bomb compared to, like, let's say, the nightstick. I don't really use the nightstick unless it's, like, the only thing that I have. So I honestly prefer the CETA agents, and that's why I rank them up higher. They're not really too annoying to kill. I never use my, like, Molotovs on, like, commons and stuff anyways. They follow pipe bombs. They'll follow bile bombs, even though they have the type of powers that drop them. And they're really only just immune to fire. So the thing they're immune, you're not really going to use on them anyway. And they also kind of give you the thing that you can use to counter them. Like, if you want to, you could kill one of them, pick up the bile bomb, chuck it, and then distract the rest of them. And then you can just be on your way. It's pretty easy. And also as well, fun fact, you get an achievement for it when you end up collecting enough bile bombs off of the CETA agents. Alright, so now we're down to the last two. The last two are honestly my favorite. They're going to be your guys' favorite, and this really could have gone either way, but I'm just ranking them off of the way I feel. You can let me know how you feel in the comment section down below otherwise. But coming in at the number 2 spot, this is going to be Jimmy Gibbs Jr. Jimmy Gibbs Jr. is a very rare but very fun infected when you find him. He is only available on the finale of Dead Center. And basically, long story short, you essentially literally are finding the actual Jimmy Gibbs Jr. zombified. He never escaped Dead Center with his car show. And so when you see him on the map, you actually will end up not really being able to kill him right away because for some reason Jimmy Gibbs Jr. actually has 1,000 HP despite him being a normal zombie, or rather a uncommon infected. I don't know why he has this much HP. I mean, it's not like he's wearing body armor like the guards, or he has any weird special powers. He is just OP because he can be, and I don't know why. He's fun, but he is really overpowered, to be honest. And plus, also on top of that, he's also immune to the following. He is immune to fire. He is immune to oil bindings. He is immune to the pipe bomb and the bile bomb. So every single throwable he is completely immune to for no reason, just because he can be, like I said. And yeah, he is the most overpowered of the uncommon infected, even more so than the guarded zombie or even the Mudmen. And for me in particular, I don't really care, and I rank him up high regardless because it's a meme, and it's just too funny to not address the meme. I mean, the meme kind of overrides the gameplay to me, and I think that's kind of how you guys may or may not feel, but at the end of the day, that's just how I feel. Now we can move on to the number 1 spot. Alright, so coming into the number 1 spot, this is going to end up being the Fallen Survivor. So the Fallen Survivor is very similar to Jimmy Gibbs in terms of his OPness. I just realized how bad that sounds. Okay, but I'm going to roll with it anyway. And, he has 1,000 HP just like Jimmy Gibbs Jr., so he is really, really strong. But for him, it makes a little bit more sense just because he has a whole bunch of body armor on him based off his cosmetics. And he also does happen to be immune to flames. He has high bulletproof helmets and high health in general, so he's very, very hard to kill with your gun, your melees, pretty much everything you can think of. He is not going to be able to be easily killed because of this thing. And also as well, he can drop you the best rewards out of every single uncommon infected. He can drop first aid kits, pipe bombs, Molotovs, and pain pills. And that is really, really good. Sometimes he can also have more than one at once. So sometimes you can find him and you can get like a Molotov and a medkit, which are like crucial to your main loadout. And this guy, unfortunately, is only really available truly on the passing the most of all. That's where I find a lot of these guys. You can find them on other maps. They're not just on the passing. But that is where 99.9% of them always will spawn. You're more likely to find a Fallen Survivor in the passing more rather than anything. I think sometimes you can find them if you're lucky enough on Coldstream, but the thing is though is that you're most likely going to find them on the passing, like I said. So even though they are just as strong as Jimmy Gibbs, they definitely give a lot better rewards, and even though there's no meme material to them, overall you want to end up going with what just makes you strong, despite his OPness. Anyways, guys, I'm going to be wrapping this up here. I hope you guys ended up enjoying. If you did, please consider dropping a like, comment, and subscribe. And once again, let me know in the comment section down below what you guys want to see next. If you guys end up enjoying this video, please consider dropping a like, comment, and subscribe. That way you can tell YouTube you want to see more videos like this coming each and every day. And before we do wrap up things here, I just want to give a quick shout out to all my Patreon supporters. Thank you, Jake Squid, for being a Patreon supporter. I greatly appreciate you, bro. You are a legend, and you are a meme lord. And I hope you guys end up enjoying another YouTube video from the most unique YouTuber you guys are ever going to see. Peace out, guys.